Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It is Sunday, July the 3rd, the year's 2022. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly open and gap. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. And since we're beginning the month here, beginning of the month, beginning of the week, just want to remind you, always use your risk management. Don't lose more on any one particular trade than you're willing to lose on any one particular trade. So let's take a quick look at the charts here on the monthly. We just started the new month, and already we have a huge range over 200 pips. And we are still in the lower wick zone of the previous month. For the weekly, right now we're 11 pips below the open, 7 off the low, and 33 off of the high. And taking a look at the dashboard, all the open gaps have filled. Now, caution, this is a holiday weekend. It's a bank weekend here or bank holiday here in the USA. Monday is July 4th, and technically, even though it's Sunday here local time, this is July 4th. And we're putting in the opening range for the week right now. It looks like it's about 38 pips. And you can see the opening range for the month is here. It'll be interesting how long we stay in that opening range. But when it breaks out, definitely look for a nice move one way or the other. I would probably think, if anything, we might get a gap up. It's funny, it says a bottom forms again in mid-May, and we see a move higher in the early August. Well, we had a bottom, let's see, when was this bottom put in? That was back in June on the 14th. Right here. So let's see if we move higher in the early August. We are 1,435 pips below the yearly open and 158 off that yearly low. Inside bars from 7 days ago and 2 weeks ago. We haven't had any new inside bars. I think today might be an inside bar. Let's see what happens. We've got one pair, the pound yen, sitting right at 100 pips of range. Once again, banking holiday, so I don't expect much price action. In fact, on a day like today, this is a good day to take a day off from trading. Almost every day we're talking about trading and methods and indicators and psychology, but sometimes you need a rest, just a break. You need to step away and just recharge your battery. Don't even think about trading. Enjoy your friends, your family, enjoy the scenery, enjoy some other hobbies that you might have. Listen to music, watch a movie, but just kind of get away from trading and come back, revitalized and refreshed. There's just no real reason to be sitting at the terminal unless you're just a diehard like some of us. But for the most part, just take a break from it. It won't hurt. The market will be back on Tuesday and you can get back to it. But there's just no real reason to sit there and try to look for trades when, most of the traders aren't even trading. And the buy zone, you can see there really wasn't too much action. You could have gotten a handful of pips long, handful of pips short. We've been crisscrossing that weekly open here. Not enough range for the rats. In fact, talking about the rats, I see there's a few traders that are liking the rat zone, and I'm glad it's working out. It's one of those statistical trades. You just have to keep trading it and trust in it. But, really try not to do anything that's just not common sense. I mean, you could see right here how price was just coming down, coming down. It looked like it was going up, and it's real easy to get in one of these trades, and next thing you know. But you can see here the bottom just kept dropping out until finally you got a higher low followed by another higher low. And you can see right here, you're still in that rat zone. And that way you cannot get suckered into those trades. And, this is the 15-minute time period, but I've even told people, if you're really having trouble, look at the H4 candle. And you can see here it turned green outside of the rat zone, but it turned green and kept going. So rather than get chopped up a bunch, taking a bunch of bad trades, move up to a really, up to a high intraday time frame like H4, and then just, see it put in the bottom. I mean, right here, that's what we call a freight train. That thing was just heading down. And there's just no reason to stand in front of that freight train or you wind up getting run over. On the pivot trading plan for today, Bambino flex indicators indicating a long. We've got the daily pivot down at 2083. We got the weekly at 121.34. So there is, you gotta fade the pivot one way, fade the daily, fade the weekly. Depends on what you want to do. So here we're looking at the monthly pivot that we haven't hit. There's the weekly that we haven't hit, and there's the daily that we haven't hit. So we had a missed pivot back in June. So we didn't have any missed pivots in May. Or at least if we did, they've been taken out. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. The wick zone is a huge, huge wick zone from Friday's candle. I think the traders, they were just having fun clearing stops, moving things around, and they just really had a lot of fun, I believe. You can see 203 pip range on that daily candle. So far this week we've got 38 pips. Last week we had 357. We haven't broken the high or the low of the previous week. I'm thinking this week could possibly be an inside bar, but we'll just have to wait and see. Once again, high minus close last week was 237, and close minus low was 120, but we're just starting out, so we don't have much of range happening at the moment. Wall mall method, not the time to trade it, but still just trading candle colors at the horizontal line here with the 2100, 1.2100. Some people here, why don't you call it triple O? Because I just hate that last digit. That's why. But you can see here, short at the line, long at the line, short at the line, barely paid off, long at the line, paid off. Once again, short at the line here. If you went long at the line, you may have, at the double O that is, might have gotten your fingers burned here, long, but then maybe you took a 5-minute to the downside here and we haven't crossed it. So just trading that double O was good. You could be, looking for 3 to 5 pips, 2, 3, 4, 5 pips at a go, and just not let it snap back on you. Lower high, higher low. And you can see we had a trigger there. You can see price came back down, came back up and through. We had a trigger there, price came back up. And a lot of times what I've been noticing, if you've been with me for like say before 2021 and 2021, we talked a lot about the order block boys, the imbalance boys, and girls and non-binaries. Yeah, they trade that way too. Um, and we were talking about those imbalance zones like they get filled. So, I mean, I can see them without the indicator. So you can see between here and here, there was this imbalance. And you see price came back down to fill that imbalance and then took off. It's just something to be aware of. And does it work every time? No, it doesn't. But it's just one of those things where you can see that that's a possibility. So for example, let's say you went long here and you wrote it up here and you just punched out, say somewhere around 95. And then you see it start to come back down. Then you see it come back down, fill that imbalance, and then go back up through it. And maybe you can then take it for a long. But in a way, that's kind of hunting for trades. That's probably not your main trade, your bread and butter. But it's just one thing to add to your price action arsenal if you're so inclined to do trading like that. I don't know. I'm not sure how many traders out there that follow my channel are scalpers, how many are swing traders, how many are a hybrid of some sort. I'm curious. You'll have to let me know in the comments. Year-to-date accumulated range, we haven't added anything to it. And looking here at the monthly, pretty much is the same as it was on Friday. For the week, though, we've got a distance to the moving average, still huge. Previous bar was an outside bar on the weekly. Prices right now in between the wick zones. W1's turning down. Sellers still have, we got a fade pivot buy on the weekly. So whenever that weekly candle goes green, you might want to consider going for that pivot. That's a target. So those are just some of the things we can look at. So fellow traders, once again, sometimes it's a good thing just to stay away. Give yourself a day off. Give yourself permission to not trade, instead of always being huddled at the computer. Go out, take a walk, go for a hike, a swim, a bike ride, a jog, whatever. Just go out instead of just sitting there, because actually our bodies really aren't designed to sit for extended periods. You get sore and stiff, especially as you get older. Trust me, I know. Let's see, coming up this week, I'm not really sure. We've got a couple of topics Walmall and I were kicking around. But if you have any ideas or if you want to see something, let me know. Or if you've got questions, hopefully we can answer them for you. But the thing about it is, it's just one of those things where we focus so much on what's going on our charts as opposed to what's going on in our head. And the charts, you can't control that. What you can control is what's going on in your head. And so chances are, unless you're just super unlucky, probably more often than not, when you enter a trade, the market gives you an opportunity to take a pip or more. And if that's truly the case, but you find yourself, not taking that pip, then that's something you've got to, figure out. Figure out why you've decided not to take that pip when it presented itself. Some of the rules I have, sometimes I follow, and when I do, they usually reward me. Yes, sometimes price keeps going in a direction, but that's okay. But a lot of times when I don't follow those rules, that's when I have to wind up trading my way out of a big mess. So I would hope that you don't find yourself in a big mess, because it's not what you trade, It's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.